Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's too young to run for president because of the wording in the Constitution. That's what she says. But the newly minted Congresswoman is already proving to be very influential in the 2020 race. A number of potential Democratic presidential candidates, including Liz Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Cory Booker, are hopping on board AOC's Green New Deal push. The Green New Deal is a lefty wish list that pushes renewable energy sources to fight climate change. That's fine. It also includes other socialist ideas like universal health care, guaranteed jobs, and universal basic income. Will any of these policies work? And my God, how would we pay for any of it? Joining me now, GOP pollster and WPA Intelligence CEO Chris Wilson is back. Welcome back, Chris.
Thanks, Kennedy. Well, good to be here.
One of the big problems with the Green New Deal, it's not the lack of good intentions. I think some of these people and some of the proposals are very well intentioned. The problem is always with any sort of socialistic proposition, the economics.
You know, the best thing for Republicans would be for Democrats to listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and run on some sort of big government socialist agenda that they are making huge assumptions that somehow because the suburbs went blue in 2018 that now your average suburban voter has become some sort of woke neo-progressive. And when it gets down to it, they're not going to support things like getting rid of cars by 2030, a universal basic income, and the decimation that this plan would cause in the agriculture states. It would immediately change what the gains the Democrats were able to make in 2018 and hand both the suburbs and the presidency right back to the Republicans.
Not to
I guess
mention
as a Republican
the Rust
pollster,
Belt and coal country.
Yeah, pretty much everybody except for New York and California, I guess. But
that's
as
all
a
they care
Republican
about.
pollster,
They want to get rid of the Electoral College, so all anyone will focus on is New York and California.
Well, and then maybe they can change the Constitution so she can just become their nominee for president. But I think it's a huge overreach by Democrats, but it's one I would encourage them to continue because it is a complete misreading of anything that took place in the election. And it's so naive of them to conclude that somehow there's been some shift in their agenda. I mean, frankly, I think Republicans did a bad job of appealing to suburban voters. And now for Democrats to take those socially conservative, but maybe somewhat, those fiscally conservative, but somewhat socially liberal voters, and now become a hardcore leftist agenda on the fiscal side, they're going to surrender those gains overnight.
Yeah, but that's the hubris of Washington. They take a majority and see it as a mandate, and that is not necessarily so. It also reveals the growing chasm within the party, and I think it's going to be very hard for progressives to nominate and take over the Democratic Party with some of these ideas because, yeah, they sound great. And I love the idea of getting off oil and having sustainable resources in this country. But I don't think we need government forcing us to do that.
Well, that's right. You look at the success of companies like Tesla that have, through a free market system, been able to move people into and getting away from using oil and electric cars. You can't just force people to make decisions like that. You do it through the free market, as you were well aware, and they just don't get that.
All right. Thanks so much, Chris. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.